And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a whole new episode of Physical Media Format here on the Movie Dawgs channel. This is our second part season opener, and we are doing the Star Trek Next Generation feature films, starting with Star Trek Generations, Into First Contact, Insurrection, and then the final film out of my generation Star Trek, Nemesis. Now we all know that Patrick Stewart's come back. He's done 2 seasons of Picard. Say what it is, it doesn't matter right now. Next season, let's hope that it goes out in a blast with the entire original Next Generation cast returning. Honestly, I think they should have been doing a whole new movie to end it right. But again, I'm just a little peon that loves Star Trek. All right. Well, let's get to it, folks. Be sure to like this video and support this show. Remember, this season is our final season, folks. Like I said in the premiere episode. And if you hadn't yet, hit the notification bell. That's up around there or around there, whatever it's at. Probably down here. And also, if you hadn't yet, subscribe to this channel. All right, let's get to it. Alright, as you can see here, there are 2 versions of Generations here in front of you. The traditional plain gloss cover with that. I had this poster and I ordered it right from QVC that very night that they had the Star Trek show. They would do a Star Trek show once a month, and I called and I actually talked to one of the actresses who played the sisters and the Klingon sisters that were from the show that were in this movie. But it was a really cool poster, you know. It was that bridge to gap the 2 generations, 2 captains, 1 destiny. Of course, we know this was William Shatner's final portrayal of Captain Kirk. Patrick Stewart, you know, they were going to go for a whole new thing. And, of course, we know what happened to the Enterprise D. And that, here's the sides, the font. They stopped using the Roman numerals and just started using the title to go along with the title of Star Trek. It came out in '94, not too several months after the end of the television show Next Generation. Of course, then they were experimenting with the font on the that went with the poster art onto the labels, which was a whole lot better thing than that red one that they were doing with other films. And they're still doing the stickers on the side, and on the back, selected pictures. You got William Shatner, James Doohan, Walter Koenig, the great Malcolm McDowell as the lead villain in this film, Sauron. And of course, in this film, you know, they were wearing the Star Trek DS9 fatigues, kind of bridging the gap. But this version right here was more of a holographic version to kind of go along with the little theme that they had on that one scene where Picard's looking at the Christmas tree and the star exploding. And if you can see if I'm moving it good enough and everything, you can see that star exploding and the shock waves going by. Always thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, kind of the holographic, you know, gloss kind of goes around. It's the same cover, except just as a, you know, got more of a shine to it. You can barely see the actors, though, in the lighting because of it. But other than that, still really cool looking, as you can see. Alright, now this is my favorite out of the Star Trek Next Generation films. First Contact. It was the first time I took a girl to go see a Star Trek movie. Star Trek Generations, I took my baby brother to go see it. But this time, I actually went on a date with a girl who was a fan of Star Trek. So, it was a win-win. You know, really cool Star Trek movie. It's kind of the Wrath of Khan of the Next Generation films. The Enterprise E was awesome looking. I can't wait to get that model because I love that version of the ship. And, of course, the poster looked pretty cool. I had this poster as well. And zoom in a little bit. You can see Data's on there with Picard. It was a very Data-centric type of story, too. He's part of the B story or C story, whatever you want to call it. Of course, the Borg Queen was introduced into this film. This is just a standard version. That was the one that you'd sometimes see in the VHS or the video stores. In the back, Borg Queen, and then of course now they got brand new uniforms that were introduced in this film, and then it came into existence throughout DS9's run. Of course, really cool setups here, and of course they would meet the guy who invented warp drive. And the teaser poster, I actually liked even more. I would love to have gotten the teaser poster for the cover art. But anyway, there's the Enterprise E. I'm actually going to do an episode of Movie Dawgs talking about First Contact. And of course, they really were going to experiment with these labels. They started using a black sticker with the font of the movie poster art. And by then, they were bouncing around with the idea if to use stickers or not on the sides. So now, the fun part, I got both of them. Now, they also did a motion 3D thing where Picard would turn into Locutus, and Data would show off his android skeleton look. That was at the end of the film, and get a little closer if you can see. It's kind of got a 3D feel to it when you see the Borg standing there. It's pretty cool. I always liked this. And then, of course, the Borg Queen's eyes would glow. No, this is a widescreen version. You can see the artworks on the sides, too. It's pretty much the same packaging. But this is a widescreen version, which was comes to a lot of VHSs towards the late 90s. And also is that this is a Canadian version. As you can see, that's a Canadian rating logo. In America, it was actually a PG-13, and in Canada, it was PG. And of course, the same thing, same thing here, the 3D art. This is still an American version, but the font on this is a little bit different. It looks more like the font that's in the opening credits for the movie. So, as I said, just a little different, but here, again, they were still playing around with the stickers and stuff on what to do, but the font was a lot different here than on that one. So, but anyway, now I know there was a widescreen version of this that was released as well, but there was no other alternate packaging and everything. It always had this type of glossy type of holographic look to it. As you can see, it's not as good as, like, say, the Next Generation, but it's, the Generations, but it kind of gives off the same feel. I hope you can see that. So it looks pretty cool. This was actually treated as the teaser poster and for the theatrical poster. There was nothing else to it. I guess they didn't know whether they wanted the entire cast on it or not. Again, I like the teaser posters the most out of all the posters itself when it comes to the Next Generation movies. Of course, here on the sides, you got Data, and the font is, monopolized the whole side, almost the whole side. And in the back, they just they have the second Magnificent Seven: Picard, Riker, Deanna, Data, Geordi. We actually got to take off the eye implants this time, and then Worf and Dr. Crusher. Again, they're all returning for next season, and it seems like almost everybody's going to be coming back for next season. And of course, there's Picard on the side. The font has been, from the movie itself, it's more prominent here on the top. And again, they had this is weird. This is also a bluish VHS. I never saw any of the black ones, but this, just for some reason, they did a blue version of the VHS. I had noticed it for a few other releases that year, but yeah. And then they started going back to that font that they had started using back in '89. But all right, folks, it's rare when it came to sales. By the time Nemesis came out, DVDs were getting very popular and dominating the shelves over VHSs, and VHSs were really getting phased out. But they were still, renting them out in video stores. It was still popular to use them in video stores. But it is very rare to find a copy of Star Trek Nemesis on VHS. Luckily, I found 2 in a week. So, again, wasn't considered the most popular of the films. It actually underperformed, or you could say tanked. It was directed by Stuart Baer, who was a great editor. He edited Superman and a lot of Richard Donner films, but directing, he just couldn't get his thumb on it, and especially when it came to Star Trek, he just didn't get it, and he wouldn't listen to any of the cast. But of course, I've had this poster as well. There, of course, now the great Tom Hardy as Picard clone that kind of took us all about from when it came to the trailers. But Tom Hardy, I can't remember the name of the character right now that he played. But of course, you had Data and you had Picard, but you don't have the Enterprise on it, which just sucks. That that's the only Star Trek poster that I know that, except for Star Trek 4, that didn't have the Enterprise on the cover. And that was a little bit of a bummer. I still think it would look cool with the Shizon. That was his character's name. Shizon's ship and the Enterprise fighting it out. But again, you got Picard and Data, who are always been, since First Contact, prominent on the posters. And a really cool looking font of Star Trek Nemesis. Always liked that. So, but the trailer actually was or the teaser poster was pretty cool looking too, when it had him just standing in the background with his back facing the camera, and he was holding the dagger. And then, of course, it's pretty much, like that. There it is right there. Forgot it was on there. But, yeah, that was the teaser poster. Of course, there's that. And in the back, of course, you've got the Enterprise after it had collided with Shazon's ship and everything. That was a pretty cool sequence. And of course, Ron Perlman as the Viceroy, who was a Reman. That was related to the Romulans and Vulcans. Almost a Nosferatu type of look. Always liked their look when it came to that kind of metallic or holographic type of leather that they were wearing. It was really cool. Guys, check this movie out. There's nothing really wrong with this movie. And trust me, when you watch Picard Season 1, you'll probably appreciate this a little bit more. But of course, they had been messing with the font on the sticker again, and it's more basic and more kind of like a cheap VHS company had put the sticker on it. As I said, by then they were really just, phasing out VHSs. Of course, the stickers were on the side, were no longer there. But again, check the movie out. It's not that bad, honestly. I mean, it was not Star Trek 5 bad. And I still think, as I said previously, if Shatner gets his vision, you'll see a better Star Trek 5 if he gets his director's cut. All right, folks, that's this episode of Physical Media Format. And again, folks, thanks so much for supporting this channel. And don't forget, this will be the last season. It'll bleed into next year. But I'm going to make it count. And folks, I do hope that everybody, takes time and watches these episodes. They won't be as long as this, I promise. But there will be one more Star Trek themed episode after this. So bear with me. I'm going to get all my Star Trek out of this as much as possible. But again, folks, what was your favorite VHS cover out of all these Star Trek films? And what was your favorite moment out of these Star Trek films? List it down in the comment section below. I'm rather interested in hearing it, folks. All right. Hit that thumbs up. Don't forget, yet. Subscribe button's down there. Notification up around there, anywhere. And support this channel and support this episode and this show, folks. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Physical Media Format here on the Movie Dawgs channel. Thanks for watching. And, folks, please keep on watching. Bye.